Alright guys, welcome to the Q&A section of the previous video. Essentially I wanted to go through your questions about the car. It's been 12 months, all the mods I've done to it, so you've obviously dropped some questions. Sorry about the phone, but all the questions are screenshotted on my phone, so that's what I had to sort of use. But let's get into it. There's a fair few to go through here. We're going to start off with Brownie, patrolling. Good old Brownie. When are you joining the big boys on 37s XX? Ooh, that's a good question. So the 2-inch lift goes in March. I'm going to get that all sorted in March. And then I believe I can fit 37s on a plus 18 profile. So maybe, just maybe, I might join you next year at Brunswick and we'll put some 37s on it. See how we go. But yeah, pretty keen to. I saw Ruben from, I think it's DMW, or I can't remember his company name. He's got 37s on his, and it just looks mental. They're not great for CVs, but you know, having a bit of a play set of tyres, 37s to go down to Brunswick and that kind of stuff will be pretty cool. But yeah, there's many things to do before that, mate. But yeah, I might join the big boys one day. Zesty Patrol, another very, very clean looking patrol out there. Same colour as mine here. Actually inspired me for a lot of modifications of mine. When are you coming to Queensland? That's going to depend on me, me premier, mate. Yeah, there's a few things in the mix to do a big lap, and I'll be over that way, obviously for the big lap because I want to see the Cape. But yeah, it's just going to depend on what happens with these borders, mate. But definitely on the cards very, very soon. We'll jump on the next one. Nathan King Overland. Favorite party or camping setup that you can't live without now that you've had it? Ooh. I'm going to go with the... Because I love a coffee in the morning. You know the jet boils? You know those jet boils? Because they heat up the water so quick and you can have a coffee in like 5 minutes. That plus the AeroPress, that's been, instead of using instant coffee, that's been a game changer for me. Hate using that word, but it's definitely a game changer. If it wasn't such a small item, I'd go... Another thing about camping that I really, really enjoy, that I use in my kit, probably the table, eh? The table has made it really, really easy to go camping. Even just pull up on the side of the road and make a sandwich. Even just pulling up and go to the beach. That's made it so simple. Just pull it out, the fridge opens on top of it, you just take all your stuff out. If you watch my cleanup video, then you saw me making some burgers on this thing, and it was so easy. So yeah, to make a beverage, the jet boil is definitely an awesome little bit of kit. And favourite thing I've done to the car, like for camping, is probably that table for cooking and preparation, because I love cooking. So thank you, mate. I hope you're well over there in the States. Eeyore 4x4, how's the spicy challenge vids coming along? Hit and miss. Me and Alex did one, me and Wayne did one. I had one lined up with Pete, but Pete is a very, very busy man, so we couldn't really tee that up for last year. The good thing about these spicy videos, I can do them really whenever. But I was going to do one with Harry, but he bailed on me. Cam, so from Wild Touring, he's going to do one with me as well. But it's just timing. But as I said, the best thing about them is they're not related to anything that's happening right now, so I can do them whenever. But they are coming along, and I've had 2 very interesting next mornings with those videos. Ryan Tilley has asked about 3 questions here, so I'll get through each one as quick as possible. What would you tell Nissan they should have done differently? Being a 2020 car, they should have installed Apple CarPlay and probably changed the middle head unit to the UAE spec one, which has got the dual screens. The next question was how much use does the pie oven get? Is it worth having one? It actually gets used a lot. So I do a lot of roast and that kind of stuff in the pie oven. So I find I use it a lot, but that's just me. I do love cooking like pork in there. It cooks a really nice pork. Do I use it as much as I probably thought I would? Probably not, but it's really handy to have when you just want to cook like a mini pizza or something like that. It's perfect for those moments. But I still think it's worth having one, especially you can have pies. You know, pies on the tracks is bloody wicked. Ryan's third question, if you had to hand back 3 mods, what would they be? Oh, that's a hard question. 3 mods to hand back. Damn, that's a real hard question because I don't really like giving anything back. Okay, just purely for the price, I'd have to give the dash back because that's like $2 grand. 3 mods I had to give back. I could live without this screen, but it's bloody good to have, but I could live without that. The third one would be the booster. I don't find I use it as much as I would. That would be my 3 mods. Loopy Fruit again. How many miles to the Hog's Head do you get? I'm going to cover fuel economy in a complete different section because that's a very asked question in this. Dan_Graham, why should you buy a Y62 over a 200 series in your opinion? I sort of touched this on the original video when I bought the car. I don't like the emission stuff that's on the newer diesels, so that's one of the big things that I didn't want to go a newer diesel over, like, let's say, a petrol. Beyond that, both cars are stupidly capable. There's not much difference between them except for the motor. This comes with a factory rear locker, whereas obviously a 200 doesn't. But if you're talking about like off-road and that kind of stuff, there's not much between them. They're both bloody capable cars. Why would I go over a Y62 over a 200? Because they sound better. Jace Reynolds, thanks for the question, buddy. Jace Reynolds, I'm getting into YouTube filming / videos. What was the hardest aspect of starting off? Getting my audio right. I suffered massively in my early videos. I wish I could go back and change how I did things. If you have average video, but extremely good audio, people are still going to keep, watching. There's nothing worse than going on a YouTube video and watching the audio in the background. There's nothing worse. I just turn it off instantly. It's a pain in the ass. So get your audio right, and then your video, you can really start being creative and that kind of stuff, moving forward, doing different things, but get your audio spot on before you really dive into these real high production videos, because a high production video can be killed by bad audio, mate. So that's my advice to yourself. Get really good with your audio. Track and trail adventures. Thanks for the question, buddy. Track and trail adventures. Why do people with 200 think... Why do people with 200 series think they are better off than everyone else? That's a good question. I don't know. It's a Toyota thing. People think the 79 series is a good car. I mean, they're okay, but I wouldn't say they're an amazing car. There's better cars out there for the money. Well, I mean, this is the price of a 79 series, and I know which one I bought. Why do 200 series owners think they're better off than anyone else? Maybe because it's the most expensive four-wheel drive, bar like a G-Wagon. Maybe it's just like a status thing for them. But I'll just leave that one there. Good question, mate. That made me laugh. Why is this all about Land Cruisers? Brett Morgan, 0077. Still think you wish you had a Land Cruiser single cab. Hell yeah. So I could put the swag on the back and have the angle on the back and just go flog it. The old Land Cruiser single cab. Nah, I couldn't go a Land Cruiser single cab, mate. Nah, not me. Not for me. Blake Saff, you had 2 questions. How's the fuel economy? Get into that in a minute. Reasoning for going a Y62. That's a good question. That is a good question. When I was looking at cars, I was looking at wagons because I had the Ute. And the main reason for going to Y62 was the size. The V8 didn't really come into it. I mean, it's a bonus. MUX was not really much bigger than the Trident. And yeah, I just didn't want to have to worry about upgrading in 10 years. So I think the size was the biggest thing for me. And it was this versus the 200 really, because they're the 2 big cars. You can get a Ram as well, but I don't want to go another Ute. But yeah, so I think the size is a big thing for me. That was probably the biggest reasoning for going to Y62. Thanks for the question, mate. And the other question about fuel economy, which I'll get into in a minute. Drew_Vanzi, you see yourself doing remote travel. Also, why would you buy a Y62? Would you buy a Y62 again in today's pricing? Yes, remote travel. Yes, absolutely, mate. Part of the big lap is we got a few places that we want to go through. We want to do Simpson Desert and that kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely on the cards, mate. Also, would I buy a Y62 again at today's pricing? Well, they're about 90 to 100 grand new now, so probably not. since they've gone up 20 grand, I paid 75 for this, so going up 20 grand, no, I couldn't really justify spending an extra 20 grand to get in the same car, but that's just the market. You can't do much about that. I would probably just, if I didn't need it right now, I'd probably just wait 6 to 12 months for this whole car bubble to pop, and then probably buy one then, because there's going to be a lot of cars flooded on the market that people bought who probably can't afford, and yeah, get to the situation where it happened sort of last time there was this bubble, and a lot of cars and caravans, that kind of stuff, are probably going to flood the market real soon. So yeah, I'd wait for someone else to drop 10 grand on their price and lose a bit of money. But who knows when that's going to be. But no, I wouldn't buy one in today's money, mate. I can't see the 20 grand. I can't see it. Next question, Dan.SLA. More of a product question. How have the bush wraps held up, and do the edges stand out on white? They do if you don't do it properly. So I had to replace one of the panels because I busted it up. Hit a tree. Nothing major, but I just had to get a new sheet. The first one I kind of stuffed up, and I didn't heat the edges, because if you heat the edges it seals it. I didn't do that, and I kind of stuffed it up. So yes, they do if you don't install it properly, but if you follow the instructions, they don't stand out at all. Once you wash it, you can barely notice it's there. In saying that though, the bush wraps, they do I think it's called the advanced one now, which is a seamless. I'm actually going to upgrade to that. So there's going to be an upgrade at some point in the future, going to the seamless one. Thanks for the question, bud. Joshua Mosley 4x4, how is the fuel economy? Why does everyone ask me about fuel economy? These things are great on fuel. Wildfire Touring, anything you regret or mistakes made with the car / build so far? What's next for the beast? Anything I regret? Not really. Before I bought the car, I had like 3 or 4 months of planning the car. So I sort of thought about everything I was going to do to it, and then I started like asking people that I knew I could trust that wouldn't, talk about the new car, or who had a wagon in that respect, what they did and what they regret. So I sort of got ideas from that, and then I've seen a lot of wagons in my time. I've been camping for ages, and I've seen a lot of wagons in my time. So I started thinking about like ideas about how to set up the rear, because obviously most wagons are really hard to set up because there's not much room. And with that thought, I didn't jump into anything. I didn't be like, oh, I'm just going to do this and see how it goes. Everything was really thought out and planned. So I know you've just bought an MUX. So yeah, obviously before you do anything, jump on and really think about the mod you're going to do to it and how it's going to impact you maybe in 5 years' time. If your kids are going to grow up, how are they going to have space in the rear and that kind of stuff. So just think about like all those things before you really start dropping some serious coin on it, because I've dropped a fair bit of money on this, and I would hate to do it again. It'd be, absolutely horrible. So to answer your second part of the question, what's next for the beast? Probably the first thing that's going to happen to it in the next couple of months would be the 2-inch lift. It's going to have a fully custom rear setup. So I'm not going to go into too much information about that, because I would like to sort of leave a bit of surprise for the video. But I'm going to go full custom setup in the rear, and you've never seen anything like it. So keep an eye out for that, but that's going to happen sometime around March, probably April. I've got a custom paint job lined up, so something else that's going to be a little bit different to the car, just to stand out a bit, because not saying people get ideas and want to sort of match cars, but it's sort of I want something to bit of stand out, if that makes sense. I want to stand out a little bit of the pack. There's some engine bay stuff happening, and that's probably going to be about it on my radar. Lift, engine bay stuff, custom paint job. Oh, the bush wraps, seamless setup. That's about it, really, in probably the next 12 months. What more can I do to it? Possibly rear bar, but then I'm going to go over my GVM, so I don't have to do a GVM upgrade yet. But rear bar will be on the cards at some point, but I'll get the rear setup done first with this new suspension and see how we go. But thanks for the question, bud. I hope you are loving that new MUX of yours. Tough Living, you have asked 6 questions here. I feel like that's 5 too many, but actually, go check out Tough Living's YouTube channel. He's got a 200 series. Don't hold that against him, but he does some killer videos. He's been up north. Yeah, he's been doing some killer stuff. So go check out his channel. I'll put in the description. How long do you think you'll have for this? You'll have the 62 for 10 years. What's something you wish Nissan would change in a newer model? Put Apple CarPlay in it and change the middle console piece, just to update it to like 2020. Do you think you get a blower? No. Towing mirrors in the pipeline. Now you're a nomad. Don't think I need them yet. I haven't got a caravan, so I don't think I need them yet. Will you add spotties or just run live bars? Nah, just run the live bars, bud. Don't need spotties. Don't see the point. For me, personally, I don't need the point. Are you going to take the diff gears running 35s? No, because these have a radar cruise control. So if you change the diff gears, you can't use the radar cruise control. So that is a massive pain in the bum. I'd love to put diff gears in it, especially if I put a set of 37s on it for a bit of play tyres. But you can't use your radar cruise control, and I use that everywhere. So I'd hate to have that taken away from me. So no, diff gears are not on the menu, unfortunately. Loopy Fruit again. Is it what you thought it would be? Given the hype, does it have bad points? Does it have bad points beside the V8? Okay, Mr. Spider. Probably not so many bad points. It's a big car, so if you're going down tracks and that kind of stuff, it can be a bit of a pain in the bum trying to navigate certain tracks. You're definitely going to put pinstripes on it because they are a very wide car. They're about 2 meters wide, these things. So yes, that's probably a bad point. Nah, they're comfortable as, man. Like, honestly, I wouldn't change a thing, and I still, after 12 months, could recommend them to anybody. You're going to be very happy if you buy one of these. You're definitely not going to be unhappy. So, is it worth the hype? Oh, I don't know how much hype's around these. I think there's more hype around 200s, but it's worth it, 100%. I mean, I didn't buy it because of the hype. I mean, I bought it 12 months ago before these things started getting really, really popular. I think Dash, or David from Dash Off Road, made these things really popular with his videos. He's a bit of a Y62 guru, but I bought it way, way before they started becoming really, really popular last year, I think. There was only, that I knew of, probably about 6 or 7 on Instagram getting around that were really modified. So yeah, no, I definitely think they're worth the hype. This little guy here, yeah, definitely worth the hype. But as I said, recommend it to anybody. And yeah, I can't really think of any bad points. All right, last couple of questions. Steve Tunza. What's your thoughts on the current YouTube/Instagram content creator space? Ooh, that's a bit of an open-end question. Okay, I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to get any hate thrown towards my way, but you probably had to work out who I'm talking about via the way I sort of speak about it. But I was watching Pete from WA Camping Adventures video the other day, and he made a really good point in his update for 2022 video. And go check out Pete. He's a bloody awesome YouTuber. He makes the best trip videos, in my opinion. So he was talking about products and getting stuff for free. And let me be honest with you. I've got stuff for free as a YouTuber, but there's always a clause in when I'm doing these things to be brutally honest on the product. Now, if they don't like that, they don't give me the product. It's pretty simple stuff. But I'm not going to go sprout something that I've had for 12 months and let's say it's been replaced twice and then tell you it's a great product. I mean, if you go buy one and then it goes and breaks, who are you going to come at? You're going to come at me because I told you to go buy one. So anything on the car that's been given to me, I have full control about what I speak about it and how I speak about it, which is probably why I'm so brutally honest in my videos. But Pete made a really good point that most bigger YouTubers are now are getting in bed with a lot of brands. Let's talk about the big guys. So some of these guys are getting, well, let's talk about the big guys, right? Some of these brands, and I've spoken to brands about this, some of these brands are paying upwards of $60,000 to be in a couple of videos with these guys. Some of these brands are paying $200,000 just to be a certain product on certain cars. So there's big money getting thrown around with these guys. So in my opinion, it just takes away that authenticity a little bit. If you're getting paid that kind of money, you're going to have to say good things about their product. It'll be in the clause. You can't just get paid 60 grand and then say the product's a piece of shit, because you're going to get sued. So there's a very big gap between how truthful they're being and what the product's like. And this is filtering down into some other channels as well. So as I said, talking about the big guys, they've linked up with a lot of brands, and I've linked up a lot of brands. I've linked up with Rhino. They helped me out with all the bar work and that kind of stuff, and looked after me. And as I said, I linked up with Bushman. They've been fantastic. But when I say I've linked up, I've still paid for products, whereas I know they haven't. And then they still tell you it's a great product because they have to. So there is a lot of, I'm trying to think of the right word, misconception. There's a lot of, not lying, but twisting the truth a little bit. I've had this in my car for 12 months. Well, have you actually used it? How many trips have you been on with it? I've done probably 30 camping trips with that fridge. I know it's good because I've had it in the car for 12 months. But these guys that are getting these free products and sprouting that they're great products when, and the problem is I feel like a lot of these guys don't understand how the internet works. So most times when you get a new product, you chuck it on your story on Instagram or whatever, and yeah, check out this new cool product. And then 6 months later, you do a review on it and say you've done a 12-month review on it. Well, how can you do a 12-month review on it when you've only had it for 6 months? So that's where I say there's a bit of a twist in the story. But yeah, I think a lot of people are sort of selling their soul to either fund their new projects, or there's this race to build the biggest and best car because that's going to get you the views. And people I talk to, most people don't even care about these big build projects, because 9 times out of 10 they work out to be about 200 grand, and it's not affordable for the average person. Perfect example would be, again, I'm not going to say names, but the 79 series that worked out to be about 200 grand. The average person, it looks sick and it's a cool car, but no one can achieve that unless you're a millionaire. But when you get all these products for free, it's very easy to sprout and say this is the best product. You need this in your car because, you know, it's a $5,000 12 volt system from XYZ brand. Well, of course you're going to say that. You've been paid to say that. But I don't find the truth there. Like, the only people that I sort of trust with product reviews now, it's a very small minority. None of the big guys. I can't trust anything that all these big channels sprout because I don't trust they've actually used the product. Is the smaller guys that are getting out there and doing proper reviews on it, and you see it in their videos every single time, and they're coming out and saying it's a good product or a bad product or whatever. Or people that don't do YouTube and they just say, hey, I've been using this for 12 months or whatever, and you can see it's being used, it's a good product or not. Perfect example would be Brownie. So Brownie got me onto this this little cooking plate, and he's had it for like 3 years. And the fact that he had it for 3 years and it still sits in the back of his car sold me on it. I went and bought one the next day because it is an awesome product. But you know, he bought it, I bought it, but there was no, hey guys, this is a great product, yada yada yada. So I think the current space of YouTube and Instagram is a very untruthful area, I think. And so I don't want to sort of get too into attacking this person or that person, but there is a lot of lot of untruths have been spoken out there about certain products, and a lot of the big guys have been caught out recently about promoting stuff and getting it for free, and then not because there's actually standards and rules in Australia that if you promote something on one of your videos and it's been given to you for free or you've been paid to promote it, you actually need to put in the video or in the description it's an advert, because you can actually get done by Australia consumer rules that if you haven't put into the video that it's an advert, you will get done for false advertising and promoting it, blah blah blah. So there's a lot of big guys that have got done by that, and I think they're starting to now realise that it's not all give me a product and I'll promote it, give me some money and I'll promote it. It's now I'm going to have to make this video not look like an advert, which is very hard to do, and you sort of lose a bit of your credibility once you start doing that. So yeah, that's my sort of thoughts on the current state of the YouTube sort of situation. And there's a lot of small guys out there, real small channels that are below 10,000 and sort of even 20,000 to 10,000 or 1,000 who do way better videos and way better reviews than these big guys, because they're actually honest and they're out there using their products. So yeah, that's sort of my thoughts on the current space of the YouTube. But good question. I try to be as honest as always with anything I get. If it's a poor product, I always try to say it's a poor product. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of people out there that they get the money and push the product. So anyway, we'll get off that topic. Let's talk about fuel economy. So fuel economy. This is a hard one. So as a stock Y62, these are great on fuel. You go down the highway, you're getting like 12 to 13 litres. No dramas at all. They very frugal when they're stock. Well, let me use that word pretty clearly, stock. When you start adding weight to these things, that's when they start becoming thirsty. At the moment, this gets about 15.5 on the highway. So it's not too bad, probably 15.5, 16 litres, which isn't too bad. For me, I don't think it's too bad. I didn't buy this big car for fuel economy. So people are like, oh my God, it uses so much fuel. Well, it's a big car. You can't defeat physics. You can't have a car this big and get it to use 9 litres per 100. There's no way. So if you've got a 3.3, 3.5 tonne car, it's going to use fuel. That's just the nature of weight and moving weight with physics and all that kind of stuff. You might get a bit more frugal if it's a diesel. Maybe the 200 might be a bit better with a bit of weight on it. I haven't got a 200. I can't give you that sort of info, but what I can give you is it's about 16 litres per 100 on the highway. Around town, probably like 20 litres per 100, easy. But as I said, I didn't buy this car for fuel economy. So you've got a 140 litre tank. It's a big tank. Petrol isn't cheap now. It's pretty expensive. Probably another myth around fuel in these things. You can run 91 in these things. So if you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have only a 91 in a Bowser, you can run 91. It doesn't explode. I ran like 20 tanks of 91 in this. Now, you definitely notice worse fuel economy and less power, but if you're in a pickle, you can get yourself out of the pickle with 91 RON fuel. So there's a misconception out there that you can't run 91 of these. You sure can. Obviously, they run best than 98. So, yeah, fuel economy, look, it's not great, but it is actually pretty good for the size of the car. At the moment, this is about 3.3 tonne. So with everyone, fully loaded, 3.4 tonne, roughly around that area. With the camper trailer on, it's pretty much at GVM. So when we put the camper trailer on, we move stuff around, so you take a little bit of weight out of the car on that, but it's pretty much on GVM. So as I said, in my future, there will be a GVM upgrade that I need to look at. So, but for the size, I don't think it's too bad. I'm going to take it around Australia, so it doesn't bother me in that aspect. And look, if you're looking at a Y62 versus 200, you still have that difference of about 50 grand between the two premium models, like a TIL or let's say a TI versus a GXL. There's still about a $30,000 to $50,000 difference there. It's a lot of fuel. It'll get you around Australia a couple of times. You put $30,000 worth of fuel in this, you'll get around Australia. So yeah, look, fuel's not a big thing for me. I didn't buy the car to be good on fuel economy. It is what it is. I bought the car because it's got a big stonker V8 in it. It sounds sick. In my opinion, it's one of the nicer looking wagons out there that you can buy today. And it's got massive amounts of room in it, so happy days all around. So that's my questions around everyone's question around fuel economy. Yes, they do use a fair bit of fuel. Don't buy this car if you're going to be, you're worried about fuel economy on the highway. And look, if you're going to buy one of these cars, expect to be filling it up. It's just the reality of the situation. So moving forward in the future, guys, you're not going to see too many more upgrade videos. Probably do the suspension and a few other things, probably engine mods. But the majority of this year is going to be around trip videos. I've got a camper trailer video series coming up where I'm going to upgrade a few things on that because I bought a 2000, I don't know what year it is actually. It's mid 2020s, 2010s, around that area. A Goldstream Storm RV, pop top camper trailer. And I'm decking that out with some pretty cool stuff. Lithium in there so I can run a induction cooktop and a new fridge. Yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch of mods on it. I've jacked it up and done a whole bunch of stuff to it. So that'll be a video series coming in the future. And that's really about it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming and thank you for chucking the questions at me. Yeah, if you've got any questions about the car that I haven't answered in this video, hopefully I'll be able to answer them in the comment section below, so drop your comments down there. But that'll be about it. So as always, thank you for watching, and if I don't see you in the next video, I might see you out in the trucks and trails. And look, if I don't see you on the trucks and trails, I'll see you later. Have a great day, and enjoy your Sunday. Bye!